Yeah.
Welcome back to MBU Reacts. Today we checking out the GOATs of SmackDown, greatest superstars. This tree, this green, but listen here. The GOATs of SmackDown, The Rock got to be in there.
The Rock is
It's named SmackDown from The Rock, same lane to SmackDown. He got to be one of the GOATs of SmackDown. If he not the GOAT of SmackDown, I don't know, tell y'all this video is false.
For me, it's a toss-up between him and Stone Cold. Because they was...
He was on Raw,
neck and neck. But when SmackDown, most of that feud was SmackDown. That's why I said that.
But I will say the golden age of SmackDown was like in the 2000s. When Eddie Guerrero, Kurt Angle was on there. I'm trying to think of somebody else. Yeah, Eddie Guerrero, Kurt Angle.
And then when Brock Lesnar came a little
I give him that, and Cena.
Cena, yeah.
I definitely got to give Thug and Nas his due.
I like MVP.
Ooh, he was holding down the United States title for a minute.
And King Booker, because them niggas was feuding at that time.
King Booker. Was that SmackDown?
Yeah, that was SmackDown.
Okay. The Cruiserweight division. The whole Cruiserweight division, because they only had it on SmackDown. They thought it was Lesnar and they threw it on SmackDown. Billy Kid, Tajiri, when Ray came.
Caitlyn Clark Kitten. Yeah. They said she looked like him.
Damn, that's wrong. But I can't think of all of them. But hey, man, they was putting on.
Undertaker.
Matt Hardy 2.0.
Yeah. Undertaker.
You the match with the Undertaker.
Undertaker.
He was wrestling his ass off when Teddy was there. He was wrestling his ass off.
Shit, you throw Teddy in there, shit.
Oh, facts.
But let's see.
But yeah, let's see.
In WWE.
Eddie Guerrero.
Chris Jericho was more raw.
There have been a lot of them who have found their main home there.
Kurt Angle definitely is a GOAT.
I'm just a sexy Kurt.
It's no surprise there's frequently been a
Batista.
Yeah, he was on there.
Eddie and JBL. When JBL became
Edge, I forgot about Edge.
Oh damn.
Alberto Del Rio later on.
Industry, Roman Reigns. Yes, there is no bigger star in wrestling today than the Tribal Chief.
Now, I can give you him on there, but
they had this man on Raw a lot. They wanted him on Raw.
Why is that?
Oh, but this run was mainly SmackDown.
Going to be on network TV every week, reaching the biggest audience possible, then you can be damn sure the head of the table is going to make his presence felt on it. Hell,
I get y'all Roman.
I'm not mad at Roman because he won the belt. He was SmackDown when he won it off the Bray Wyatt when he was the Fiend.
Paul Heyman or one of his cousins in the Usos or Solo Sikoa. Of course, on the weeks he does show up though, the vibe gets taken to another level altogether as his star aura adds a whole new dimension to the proceedings and makes an appointment.
The best thing happened to him was turning heel.
At this point, it's
we've been saying that though.
Roman won't be the king of Friday nights anymore, either because he heads over to Hollywood or because he's drafted back to a Netflix-helmed Raw.
Oh, true.
After all, where
they is saying they might be getting the bloodline might be getting moved to Raw for the draft because they got the draft coming up.
Do you think the whole bloodline?
They said the bloodline in general.
Okay.
Because they finna make Raw the flagship show again because it's going to Netflix.
They always try that. Then it gets
SmackDown.
Yeah, because they give all they be like, you can do what you want on SmackDown. They be like, okay, and then they make Fire and
now it might be different now that Vince is gone because Vince didn't have a hand in SmackDown like that. So that's why SmackDown and NXT was Fire until Vince decided he wanted to do this. What movie was that nigga touch something? They go to Crumble. Fucking My Hero. Oh. That nigga. That's him. Yeah, that's him.
Have been these past few years had we not had matches like him going one-on-one with Daniel Bryan, or segments such as the one which saw he and the rest of the bloodline be broken down into laughter by Sami Zayn. In a much worse place, that's for sure. Sure, you could argue it would be nice if he showed up a little more often, but this lack of him being there in person most weeks obviously hasn't hurt WWE, as they're hotter now than they have been in years.
That's because they got
in fact, you could argue
hella wrestlers and they able to wrestle.
Back in the 90s, when Roman's other cousin was holding down the fort on SmackDown. That's right.
We got it. He should have been talking about first. I ain't gonna hold you.
He should have definitely been the first person talking
about.
Named
after one of his most well-known catchphrases.
Lave the
so for that
SmackDown.
reason alone, we have to include.
I wonder if he gets some money for that. Probably not, but I want some money for that.
But it's not just the fact the show was named after him which earns him a spot here today. No, it's also the fact that during the early days of the show, back at the turn of the millennium, he, more than anyone else, was the one who helped establish it as a powerhouse on the level of Raw.
Facts.
And that's not to say this meant Rocky didn't appear on Monday nights too at this point,
He did.
as it was before.
Yeah,
the
he
days of
was the main person in the commercial for the video game.
Facts.
SmackDown Hotel, it was him. He was there.
Just bring it.
He should have been the first person talked about. It should have been Rock. Then you could have did Roman.
They gave you a show and then they named the game Just Bring It because of you. Oh, that's some high shit. You know what I'm saying?
and extension.
That is.
So it wasn't.
I don't know if
uncommon
anybody
to see
else got
names
that.
Like Steve Austin, Triple H, and The Undertaker appear twice a week on a regular basis. But for all the legendary moments the Great One created on Raw back then, he created even more on SmackDown.
The Big Show, big
Yes,
ass.
it was on the Blue brand that we saw
he
memorable
slid.
scenes such as Dwayne doing his slice of people's elbow. And of course,
Dress
the memorable
shoes.
instant replay promo where he absolutely ethered the Big Show. And so when the first ever WWE draft happened in 2002, then it should come as no surprise that the People's Champion was the first pick for the show and the first pick overall. Seriously, if you're going to associate any one wrestler with this show,
Got him up
then
outta
it
there.
should probably be The Rock. And if you need any
Facts.
further evidence of this, just look to the fact that since returning to WWE in January of 2024, now as a member of the board of TKO, it's been Friday nights where he's made his presence felt as he sets up a big-time tag team bout for WrestleMania 40, pitting him and Roman Reigns against Cody Rhodes and Seth Rollins.
And he got the
But
pin
what
on
about those
Cody.
years when the Hollywood
Wow.
star wasn't there? Who would take up the mantle of SmackDown?
Edge was putting in work. He was
I
putting
said
in work.
Edge. I named. I was like, oh shit, I forgot about Edge when they showed him.
He's putting
Edge.
in work.
WWE. Well, there are a few possible answers to that question, one of which would be our next subject, Edge. That's right, there was a period between 2007 and 2011 when Thursday nights really were the Adam Copeland show.
Edge,
Facts.
Jeff
Because
Hardy,
throughout that time, it
CM
was pretty
Punk.
much the
The
undisputed
news
ace
was
of the Blue
definitely.
brand. Of course, for someone with as much talent as him, this was an easy level to reach. After all, there were few wrestlers more over than he was at that point.
True.
Need any evidence of why he was so over? Just look at the 11 world title reigns he had over the course of his first career, the majority of which came on SmackDown. And then there's the fact that with his familia by his
Edge
side,
head.
he was often able
I
to
forgot
dominate
about
entire
the
episodes
Edge
of the
head.
show, much in the same way as
Oh,
Roman
man.
Reigns and his bloodline do today. But even before his main event run in the mid-2000s, Edge was already establishing himself as one of the key acts of the Blue brand, as it was during the early part of
Oh,
that
yeah, shave
decade
my
he became
head,
part of the
yeah.
famed SmackDown 6. A group of young performers who, with their endless combination of matches against one another,
You gotta
were
say
for a
Chris
while
Benoit.
to make
Chris
the
Benoit.
show
I don't know if
the
they put him on
most
here,
watched
but
in
he
WWE.
was definitely
Way better
a
than
strong
anything that was
part of
happening on the Triple H Reign of
SmackDown.
Terror-led Raw at the
Yeah,
time.
Triple H was more raw.
Hell, we could sit here all day listing the great bouts that Toronto
Not in the
was
beginning.
part of on free
He was more on
TV back then.
SmackDown. When
they got hot,
Take up the
He was
entire
on
video.
more on
So
SmackDown.
for
When
the sake of
SmackDown
brevity,
was at his
we'll just
apex,
say
he was
that
not
if you
on there.
involved him,
That's what I'm
When they
saying.
had the
Chavo Guerrero,
Wing
or
Eagle belt, he was
other
definitely on
people who
SmackDown
get
a
to
lot.
relevant, then it was
I don't think that was the
absolutely worth
apex.
watching, and
Well,
that
not to me. was.
still worth
That's
going back and
when
checking out
he wasn't
to
there when
this
this shit was happening.
That said, for all the great work those performers did, it was arguably Edge who had the biggest long-term impact on the brand, as even now, many people still associate him with it more than any other performer.
Yeah.
And that's why it was so great to see him return to the show once he came out of retirement in 2020. As for those who'd watched his first run in person, it was a wave of nostalgia they thought they'd never get to feel again. But let's move on from Edge for now and talk about one of those other two unnamed members of the
Eddie Guerrero,
SmackDown
damn, he was going crazy on that nigga noggin.
as one of them could stake their own claim to being the GOAT of the Blue brand. Who are we
Facts.
talking about here? Why, Eddie Guerrero, of course.
I lie, I cheat, I steal.
How
That
could
was
we not
cold.
make mention of the man who, for many, is not just the greatest of all time on Tuesday or Thursday nights, but is the greatest of all time in general? Really, there is a short list of wrestlers you could legitimately call the best in-ring
Fire
performers
ass,
to
frog
ever do it,
splash.
and Eddie would be high up on that list without a doubt. And that's what made him so beloved by SmackDown fans once he made a home there following the brand extension in 2002, with it being almost a weekly occurrence for him at this point to either deliver a
RVD.
great match or a killer segment. So great was he, in fact, you were probably watching just to see what Latino Heat would do every week, either as part of the SmackDown 6 or completely
Randy
separate
Keith
to them.
Orton.
Hell, once that era ended, he was still able to remain on top of the mountain when, while a member of that roster, he became WWE Champion after beating Brock Lesnar for the honor. And at that point, he only
that was
became even
crazy.
more beloved by fans, as everyone found it impossible to resist his roguish charms. Really, just thinking back on how great Eddie was and how much audiences were invested in what he was doing is a little painful because we know we'll never get to see him do what he did again.
Facts.
But then to not think about it would be to
His
forget
daughter
his
here, though.
legacy, and we certainly wouldn't want to do this either, as the son of Gory Guerrero left such a great legacy behind, primarily on the Blue brand. But let's
Facts.
move away from Eddie and on to the other member of the SmackDown
yeah,
6 we'd
Kurt-
like to mention
Kurt was
now,
putting in work
because
over
he
there.
also has more than earned his spot in today's
Yeah, that's where he
video.
debuted
Yes,
at.
We're talking
Yep.
about Kurt Angle. Now, if you want
We
to
got some of
consider
Kurt
Eddie
Angle,
Guerrero
too.
the greatest in-ring wrestler to ever do it, then
It wasn't
we
just
wouldn't argue
TNA.
I know when
But in
he
that
was
same
doing
vein,
that
if you
sexy
want to
Kurt,
say
that nigga was off the
Kurt deserved
perp.
to go to Kurt Angle instead, then
Are you
you
straight?
wouldn't argue with that either, as no one has ever taken to the sport in the way that he did so quickly. And
I forgot he was double champ with the European and the IC
he was
title.
already an Olympic gold medalist in amateur wrestling when he joined the Fed back in late 1999. But as we've all seen with Gable Steveson, being a great amateur and a great pro wrestler are two entirely different things.
Facts.
And it wasn't long after joining WWF that Kurt became one of the star attractions of SmackDown, because even before the brand extension happened, he was holding court there many weeks as the company's world champion. Then,
Facts.
when the rosters were formally split, he'd spend the majority of his remaining years under Vince McMahon's employ, acting as a staple of Tuesday and Thursday nights, with his aforementioned
Angle.
encounters with the SmackDown 6 being so good, they've since
They
entered
showed
into the
this
realm of
match
legend.
because they thought
That
when
said, it wasn't just the
Jay
SmackDown
said
6
that they didn't have enough time. He said he didn't like that match. He said he was kind of disappointed in the match. He was like, they time got cut, so he had to rush it. So they was like, he only had 8 minutes, and they showed this match on Twitter. They was like, what can he do with 8 minutes? And they showed that match. Kurt and Rey Mysterio, they did a lot in 8
Said,
minutes.
who said they need 8 more minutes?
They only did 8 minutes. That's
Who
how long
said?
the match
Who
was.
said?
Somebody on Twitter was like, because Jay said they time got cut, so they match was literally like
Jay
8
Uso.
minutes. Yeah. So somebody on Twitter was like,
Look what Kurt and Rick.
yeah, like he's like, well, they couldn't do much with 8 minutes. Somebody was like, what can you do with 8 minutes? And somebody legit posted that shit like, nigga, this. So yeah.
Now you could do
Guerrero
work. Jimmy was kind of
making
slacking in that
the
match. I'm not gonna
brand
lie.
so memorable.
He said they was
No,
supposed to.
there
He
was
wanted
also
to
the
do
absolutely
more,
stellar
but they
feud he
time
had
got
with Brock
cut.
Lesnar
So,
in
but he
2003,
was that match.
with
He
perhaps
was
the
kind of
peak that whole
disappointed in
time
it.
being the absolutely brilliant Iron Man
I
match
know.
the pair had on the September 18th episode of the show that year. A match which still ranks among the best WWE has ever
Yes,
given away
definitely.
on free TV. And even when he wasn't able to wrestle on account of injury, he'd still be a focus of what was happening there.
I
something
wrestled
his
with a
spell as
broken
SmackDown
freaking
general
neck.
manager proved. Really then, is there any doubt in anyone's mind that Kurt Angle is one of the GOATs of the Blue brand?
Facts.
I forgot he was a GM.
We could list off
before-
moment after moment
earlier
created
on.
there and still be at it next week. Moments such as his infamous
Oh,
incident with Daniel Bryan,
but Buddy almost
or
broke his
sexy
arm.
Kurt segment with Sherry
Almost
Martel.
sexy Kurt.
So let's just
Sexy
focus on one more moment for now
Kurt.
then.
I'll make
The
your
moment he
ankle
helped
hurt.
introduce WWE
Oh,
to
yeah.
its next franchise player back in June of 2002.
John Cena big as
The man
fuck now.
who, as it happens, is our next subject, none other than John Cena.
Damn, he looked old right
Come on now, did you really think we were going to do a video about the GOATs
If
of
y'all
SmackDown
left
and
John
not
Cena
talk
out of here,
about
that'd be
Big Match
crazy.
John?
Hell yeah.
After all,
I don't understand why John don't get his hair
the biggest
fixed.
star
That
of
just
the
for
Ruthless
men shit or
Aggression era
something.
and
That
beyond,
nigga
who
rich.
established himself as the new ace of the Fed.
Maybe he don't
How
want
did he
to.
do that? Well, during the
I
early
remember
days,
that
at least, he
dude.
did it by
What happened
I don't
using
remember his name, but I do remember he
He's
used to
like
be with him.
character which,
C Cube or
like
some
Steve Austin in The
stupid
Rock before
stuff
him,
like that.
was initially supposed to present the Wesley
That's when I
Barrett
knew he was my
native on the
favorite
field, but only
wrestler.
ended up getting him
Facts.
more over as a mega babyface in the long run.
And then when he
Sure, you
got
could
to
argue
doing
that
the
the majority
salute
of Cena's
shit, I
time
mean, ain't nothing wrong with
following
that.
this
But that,
After he did the Marine.
Yeah, if he did that,
Becoming a superhero-like version of himself. we
No,
all
this
know
one he
him
became
now.
Super Cena. I was like,
And
all
never
right.
being drafted
I
by
didn't
Monday
like
Nights
that
in 2005.
persona right there at all.
When he smashed the Nexus,
But never
I
let it
said,
be
all
forgotten
right,
that
y'all.
had he not
Y'all
had
doing
those
the
initial few
most.
years on SmackDown with which to fully establish himself,
Word, like-
things may have never gotten to that point.
When he brought
No,
the spinning
without
belt
John doing
to
his
the
famous
U.S.
rap
title.
on the Halloween
Yeah.
episode of the show in 2002, all while dressed as Vanilla Ice, he likely
His
wouldn't
album
have
wasn't
reached the
bad
level
His
he
album
eventually
went
did.
platinum.
And had it
Shit
not been
wasn't
for him
bad.
gaining big-time wins over the likes of Eddie Guerrero, The Undertaker, and Chris Benoit, all en route to eventually dethroning someone we'll get to in a
Yes.
moment to become WWE Champion in 2005,
JBL?
then it doesn't seem
Was it
realistic
JBL,
to
right?
think
Yeah.
he'd ever
Him and
reach the
JBL was
top to the same
beefing.
degree.
Shit, him and
Hell, even his United States title run for the
Carlito
Blue
was
brand were a big part of
beefing
him
for that
eventually
U.S.
becoming the
title
man
too.
he'd become,
There you
as
go.
well feuding with the likes of
damn, I
Carlito
forgot about
and Booker T over
Carlito.
the
That- that feud was
himself to be
fire.
more
I
than
spit in
capable
the
of carrying
face.
a division on his shoulders when asked to do so. Yes, the truth is that if there was no SmackDown run, then there would be no Big Match John as we know him today. And that would certainly be bad news for WWE, as he's been
Facts.
such a major part of their
He put
programming
on
over the
when
last
nobody was
couple of
around. He's
decades.
still around, and he's putting
But
on.
one of the man he beat for the
Look like they go
WWE.
JBL,
Jordan in the
yeah.
background.
Weird. He was weird.
He was weird once he left WWE.
As he's none other than JBL.
He just looked like he was
John
up there.
Bradshaw
No, he
Layfield.
wasn't necessarily the wrestler that Eddie Guerrero.
No, he wasn't. But as a
And he was
villain,
like a powerhouse.
he became a big villain though when
But
he
one thing John
changed to
Bradshaw Layfield
JBL.
has over his performers is that for a while, at least in 2004 and 2005,
Facts.
he
Came off
was
as
the
a
longest
rich
reigning
prick.
champion the SmackDown
Yeah,
brand had
he
ever
was
seen.
he was holding it down as the villain.
After shocking the world and winning the strap that was by this
He had his
point
little
Blue Brand
team, he was
exclusive from
cheating,
Eddie
he was
Guerrero
winning.
at June 17th, 2004's Great American Bash, he'd go on to hold the gold for a full 280 days, the longest
Facts.
run anyone had had with that title since the inception of SmackDown. And that alone earns him a spot in this video.
He said,
But then it's
you
more
were
than just the length
fired.
of the reign because of
The
Hogan.
heel
For
top
real?
right there, yo.
Good matches against
That shit was
performers such as
wild. I'd never
Undertaker,
forget
Booker
that.
T, and Kurt Angle. And whenever he wasn't lacing up his boots,
Yeah,
in the
Orlando
ring, he was
just-
usually taking part in an entertaining segment with his cabinet, made up
He
as they
looked
were
like a
of Michael
worm.
Jordan, the Basham brothers, and Amy Weber. Really then, considering how close he was to being on the chopping block
You're
before
fired.
he morphed into
He
this
said,
J.R. Ewing-inspired
"You're
character,
fired."
and from there quickly rose to the top, you could argue JBL's time on SmackDown during that period was by far and away the
Well,
best
he was
thing
long
ever
haired,
did
black
in his career.
haired. I didn't even know he
And
was
one of the
dyeing
best
his
things the
hair.
Blue Brand ever saw.
I thought he just had black hair.
Me too.
When he lost the belt to John Cena at WrestleMania 21, the cash he'd built up for himself by then meant he'd always remain somewhere near the top of the card on Tuesday or Thursday nights for the rest of his in-ring career. Whether that meant him challenging whoever the WWE
Ooh.
champion was at that time in order to try and win his gold back,
Gotta spit
or
up.
him helping to elevate things like the Intercontinental title during programs with Rey Mysterio or CM Punk. In fact, at one point,
forgot he had a
even
little
had a
feud
pretty
with
good
CM
feud with our
Punk.
next subject,
Facts.
someone who, like
Dave
Edge,
Batista.
has a strong claim to being the ace of SmackDown
Oh,
during its
no.
mid-2000s period. But then, when we're
I
talking
told
about
you,
someone
he
like
was on
Batista,
SmackDown a
how
lot.
could he not be in the
No, he
running for
was.
this
That
spot?
he won the
That's
little
right.
tag
I
belts
would- I would
with
say he
Rey
Star in his own
Mysterio
right,
too.
Dave
I would say
Batista
he'd
was
go
the
to
king
Raw
the Blue
because of
Brand
the
for a
Evolution
while,
thing.
As it was there, he had
He
the
helped
lion's share
most of the
his
titles
success.
with SmackDown
Sure,
though.
things
That's why I
might have
said
first started
that.
picking up for
True.
him on Raw, and
That's what I
on
was
that
saying.
show, he was a member of Evolution for a while, but once
He
eventually
broke
started
off, he
fighting
Well, he was
SmackDown.
no, when he was SmackDown, he was with
and
D-Von,
he was
remember?
world heavyweight title
Reverend
belt.
D-Von.
I'm not when he. Yeah, he was Deacon Batista, but
Probably for the
what I'm
best
saying
of
is
his
most of his
long run
his
then, because between
higher run was
2005 and
SmackDown.
Yeah, his
2008,
singles.
he was able to absolutely rule
Oh, yeah,
the
yeah,
roost on
yeah, you're right,
SmackDown
you're right.
By not only spending lengthy spells as world champion,
Why was niggas dying?
but
They
also by having some
tips
of the most
blown.
memorable programs in the show's history.
They used to do that back in the
After all,
'90s,
who
in
could
the early
forget feuds with Rey
2000s and shit.
Mysterio, Eddie Guerrero, and The Undertaker. Especially when it was that latter feud which led to the birth of the mini streak
Oh,
of WrestleMania
facts.
Classics the Dead Man had for a while when the two faced off at WrestleMania 23. Then, of course, there were his beefs
King
with the likes of
Booker.
Booker T,
King
The Big Show.
Booker.
Honestly, for as bad as it was, even his
The
time
Great
spent
Khali.
fighting it out with the Great Khali during the mid-2000s still
Hey.
has a certain air
Oh,
of
the
nostalgia
Punjabi
to it for
prison
those who
match?
remember it
The
firsthand.
Great Khali was
And
fire.
if you need any evidence of the nostalgia,
In
Back
New
in
Japan.
Japan, he was drop kicking.
In New Japan, he was cold.
He was athletic as hell.
But
New
once he
Japan.
got there, it was like
He was already body was already tore up. It was too late.
he still did what he was supposed to do
He
as a
made money.
big.
Yeah, he made money. That's
That
what.
nigga
That's,
climbed that
that's
damn
why a lot of
prison, though.
people. Yeah, no, he was getting down. You saw that? I was like, hold on now. Batista probably looked at that. Oh shit.
That's one of the matches I watched through that fuzzy ass TV
Yes!
back in the day.
That's HBO's fuzzy as fuck. You sit there, you can hear it perfectly, but it be fuzzy as
But
fuck.
barely, like you can see, but you can't see.
Yeah, yeah, you hit it good. You get a decent picture.
Yep.
I remember sitting in the den watching the Undertaker and Brock Lesnar, Hell in a Cell. Mad as hell, Brock won.
we have to look to the way Big Dave's Dune co-star Timothy Chalamet
I would say
geeked
Timothy
out
Chalamet.
over meeting him for the first time on set, as he had such fond memories of watching the animal kick ass every week back when he was a kid.
I would say your
there's
ass
certainly
like
no doubt in
22,
anyone's mind
ain't
that
you?
Batista
He
is
might
one
be
of the
older than
greatest
that, but
wrestlers
he
who
look
ever
young as
plied the
hell.
craft on SmackDown. And that no matter who
I still
comes
ain't
in the
watched
future, he'll
Wonka.
still be one of the greatest.
Me neither.
As he was just that
I think
good
so,
and
HBO
that
Max, too.
memorable.
Yeah, it is.
Was he quite as good and memorable as our next subject, though? Well,
Taker?
that's up for you to decide, because our next subject
Told you,
is
but
none
he
other
had to
than
be
the
on
legend,
there. That
the Enigma,
one-on-one with the Undertaker. That's how I think all his drag.
Punishing niggas.
Undertaker.
Punishing dudes.
The
Well,
Undertaker has to rank
Undertaker.
highly amongst their numbers. And that's because despite being around a lot
R.I.P.
longer than
Paul
SmackDown
Bearer.
has ever
R.I.P.
existed,
Paul Bearer.
it
He was
still
wild.
feels like so many of the big parts of his career happened there. Yes, it's true that a decent percentage of his time was spent on Raw during the Attitude Era.
Yeah, true.
And it's also true that when the first draft happened, the Dead Man was actually moved to Monday nights permanently for a while.
He was mad as
But after
hell.
moving over to Thursday nights instead in 2003, it would be that show which remained his home for the rest of his full-time career. And this meant all the classic moments that came from the golden era of the streak would take place here too,
Sure.
including his highly memorable programs with Batista, Edge, and Randy Orton. But they weren't the only great feuds Mark Calloway was involved in the 2000s and early 2010s SmackDown, as he'd also get to lock it up with performers like Kurt Angle, Brock
Facts.
Lesnar, and JBL. Hell, he even managed to go head-to-head with some of the top stars of Raw in interpromotional battles during this period too,
Sure.
names like Shawn Michaels and Triple H. And in doing this, it meant he was always able to maintain some of the Blue brand's
Go to
legitimacy,
sleep, Nick.
even as it started to slide down to the level of being a glorified Raw recap show.
I remember
never let
that
it be
weak
forgotten
ass
that,
period.
While there may have been a whole host of big names on SmackDown over the years, many of whom we've discussed today already, they were all just playing in The Undertaker's yard. Of course, every legend has his time to ride off into the sunset, though, and this is exactly what happened to the Phenom in April of
AJ
2020 at
Styles.
WrestleMania 36.
You might have to add AJ Styles.
Subject, the man who in many ways
The house
took over his
that's-
mantle as
yeah,
the
that-
SmackDown for a while, AJ Styles.
Okay, I was gonna say, yeah, that's my boy. You do gotta add
But
him.
most of the big moments the Phenomenal One has had since joining WWE in 2016
Why are you
have
touching
been
me?
on Friday nights. After all, it was there he had a memorable feud with John Cena, which
Facts.
fully established him as a main event player in Vince McMahon's company, something even the most optimistic of fans had doubted would happen. And it was also there where he won the WWE title on 2 separate occasions. In fact, his second run with the belt was so dominating, it would last for a full year.
Yep.
371
That nigga
days
ain't
to
touched
be
the world
exact.
title
And to see
since.
him stand
Well, I mean, he
toe-to-toe
been
with
hurt.
the best the WWE
Shit.
had
Give
to
him one
offer.
more title run
Names like
before he
Daniel
retires.
Bryan,
Shit,
Shinsuke
Shinsuke
Nakamura,
finna leave.
Joe, and Brock Lesnar. So while he may be no stranger to Monday nights, if we were
Hey,
picking one show we most closely
club
associated
reunion.
Styles with, it would be SmackDown.
Everybody
And
come.
that's why it's so great that
Well, not everybody,
as
most
of
of them.
April of 2023, he's returned to the blue brand once again and is there picked
Lone
up right
Wolf.
where he left off by having
He finna
bangers
fight Cody
against
for the
folks
belt.
such as Randy
I know he ain't
Orton,
winning,
Yeah,
but-
yeah, he ain't gonna win, but
Sure, he
That'd
might
be
be
crazy
in the
if he
winding
did,
down
though.
phase of his
That'd be
career now,
kinda
the phase where his focus begins
crazy.
to shift more towards getting younger talent over,
they-
so there's no guarantee
if they beat
his
for a
team
year,
will
Belt
have
go here,
full
Belt
Give
title.
him a world title run one more
He'll
time,
still go
bro.
down as one of the
He can
all-time
still go
legends of
crazy.
Just one more.
SmackDown.
If
For
you
no
got,
other
just
reason
move him
than
to
he was
Raw
able to
and
do
get him the
everything he
world
did there
title.
in only a few short years, and after he'd
Facts.
already passed the 40-year-old mark. But then everyone we've looked at today will go down as a legend of the brand in their own right,
Facts.
as they each helped to make it the A show it has become today.
hey, look, man. AJ need a new run. He do need a run. He got everything now. He good. But Shinsuke needs something, man. Y'all just wasting that, man.
He ain't touched a world title since NXT, nigga.
No, he touched the main event.
Did he win the world title? Hell no. He won the Rumble and did not win. He lost. That's when they did that stupid ass low blow shit.
I thought he won it once.
He ain't won a world title since
No.
NXT.
Damn, I thought he won the other belts. I know he won tag team.
He
belt.
won a tag,
He won
IC,
Intercontinental.
the
Probably the
world
US
title.
too.
Yep, he done won those.
You say he won the world?
US title.
Oh, the U.S.
And
title.
I said IC. He hasn't won the world title since
Yeah.
NXT when he won the NXT championship.
Let that man. Why y'all doing? Hey, they don't have that man.
He
doing
shoulda
shit.
went
He
over-
just lost to Sheamus.
He should have went over at Mania when he won the Rumble.
Y'all let Asuka get over. And Asuka cold. So is Shinsuke. Nigga, his song is fire.
If I was Shinsuke, I would go back to New Japan, but I think he's
I think he getting the
okay
bag
with here,
over here.
yeah. Cause he this the only company he ain't won the world title. I mean, granted he was New Japan, but
Still.
I don't know where else he was besides New Japan. Is what I'm saying. But you was a world title champion at New Japan, nigga. That shit is that's a prestige title.
NXT, they was going crazy.
Yeah, that's when NXT was
He
fire.
was holding
bro.
that motherfucker. He was getting at people. That's what y'all know what y'all got, bro. It ain't that hard. If you don't think he can talk on the mic, have somebody talk for him. It's that simple. Y'all do it for everybody. Y'all do it for Brock, and that
I
nigga
think
speak
that shit
perfect
is, I think
English.
that shit is over now. That if you can't speak English, shit. Now that Vince is gone.
Think so?
That was a Vince thing.
It was. But I'm saying he was there for all that, the Shinsuke run.
But what I'm saying now
Yeah.
is it's over. I can see Shinsuke winning the world title.
Come on,
not
bro.
the WWE title.
Yeah, I understand.
But the world title, I can see him winning that.
Go beat up wait.
Damian Priest is the champion.
Oh yeah, Shinsuke is over there. He is over there. Yeah, whoop Damian Priest ass.
He just lost to fuck it was.
A tag team, right?
Nope, he just lost to Ilya Dragunov.
I thought he was supposed to.
The Raw after the Raw after Mania is what I'm saying.
Jay. Oh yeah. I thought he was supposed to fight Jay for the belt now.
That's who Damian Priest is fighting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
But I'm saying
Jay, I don't think Jay gonna win it.
they've been using Shinsuke for basically what AJ Styles basically doing, trying to put niggas over. Shinsuke, when he was fighting Cody, y'all should have pushed him to the main event scene.
Facts. Y'all should have. I'm mad this nigga lost to Shinsuke. I ain't got nothing against Shinsuke. I like Shinsuke, but y'all could have given anybody else. Y'all had to give. Y'all had to feed Shinsuke to him. It's just as bad as when y'all let Asuka lose
to Charlotte.
Charlotte. I swear to God,
Charlotte did not
gonna lose.
Charlotte did not need the streak.
No, she didn't. She did not need to take Asuka's streak. Asuka, that was.
I mean, it didn't hurt Asuka none.
It didn't, but it was unnecessary.
Definitely very unnecessary.
That's how I feel about it. Y'all writing them New Japans. This ain't even all that. New Japan wrestlers ain't even all that. They cold. Y'all just mad because y'all ain't see it. Or y'all some WWE casuals, which is cool.
Yeah, that's...
If you just watch WWE, that's cool. If you won't venture out, that's cool. I'm telling you, go watch it.
If you don't venture out, you should venture out.
You should. Go watch
Go watch any wrestling promotion. Ring of Honor, New Japan, TNA, MLW.
Boy, them old Kurt Angle matches in TNA. AJ Styles matches, Samoa Joe matches,
House of Glory.
Daniel.
Go watch House of Glory too. They be having fire matches too, bro.
Ring of Honor got some classics. Boy, y'all missing out if you love professional wrestling in general. I'm just saying, there's a lot of promotions out there that's fire. Even Booker T little promotion get YouTube love.
Yeah, Booker T promotion.
Shout out to Zilla Fatu, one of the Bloodline. He young. He be wrestling. I be watching him. I think he got the basics down.
And y'all go watch MLW because if Jacob is coming, y'all want to know what this nigga can do.
The Samoan Werewolf. Go Google that. The Samoan Werewolf and check him out. Because half of y'all going to be like, who is this?
GCW, go watch them.
Facts.
Go watch that shit.
Man, I'm telling y'all,
I don't know if Progress is still a thing, but Progress was in the UK. Go
Lucha
watch
Underground
Progress.
Over, right?
No, that should have been dead.
Yeah. That was cold, though. Lucha Underground was cold.
Lucha Underground was definitely cold.
It was that shit. But anyway, man, like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bells so you know we post. Because we post 2 to 3 times every day, sometimes even 4. And Liz is going to be putting its own section. We going I forget the guy's name.
Wrestling with Andy.
We're going to make our own Wrestling with Andy thing on the side. Playlist on the side because we're going to react to more of his wrestling videos. Because we love wrestling over here. It's been a childhood thing since... childhood. But anyway, man, like I said, subscribe to us. This is Tree, this is Green. We're MBU Reacts, and we post at 12 p.m., 4 p.m., 8 p.m. Central Time, and we're going to be back with more wrestling. You can get in the comments. We'll talk wrestling with you. You think you got some opinions, let it ride. You don't think AJ that good? Go ahead and say it. I ain't tripping.
Argue with you.
We're going to argue with you, but I ain't tripping. Let us know who your favorite is. Because next video is either going to be the GOATs of Raw, or we're going to do... because he got a video of the GOATs in general, the GOATs of each promotion.
Let's do a GOATs of Raw first, then we can do that.
GOATs of each promotions. And the counterparts of the code, too.
Yeah.
But anyway, man, we'll holler at y'all later. Peace.